In this tutorial, we want to focus on groups. Within our learning activities, we may present learning activities which require students to work in groups. And for them to work in groups, you may have set up activities such as group discussions, you may have set up group assignments, and so on and so forth. For you to achieve these activities, you must first have enabled the group settings within the course settings. Make reference to the video on course settings to do this. Once you have enabled that setting in the course level, you can now proceed to the course itself. So click on this course, then select participants so that you can now create the groups. So create the groups by going into the menu, which indicates groups. Then select. Now to create your group, click on the Create Group button. Give your group a name. So my group is group 5. Then click Save Changes. So you can create as many groups as you need into your course. After you've created groups, you can be able to add members into a group. To add members into a group, simply select the group, then select the button Add/Remove Users. Note that for a member to be included in a group, that member must first have been enrolled into the group. So these are members who have enrolled into my group. Simply click on the members that I want to add to my group and then click Add so that I add them to the group. So my group 2 now has 3 members. Then I can click Go Back to Groups. I can repeat this process for all the groups as I add members to the other groups. So that is one way of adding members to a group. The other way of adding members to a group is to auto create groups, and then automatically the system will create groups and assign members to the group. So let's use this method. So click the auto create groups option. Indicate the naming scheme. So it will be group, then a group number. You can either create the groups by number of groups or members per group. So you can either indicate to the system that you want it to create for you any number of groups as long as each group has about 5 members, 2 members, 3 members, depending on how you want it, or you can tell it to create a given number of groups and then assign members to those groups. Let me choose the second one where I want to tell the system to create for me groups whereby there are 5 members in each group. So in my group, I want the system to create such that there are 5 members. They'll have this, so the members who will be assigned to the group are the members who have the student role. Then I can tell it to either allocate members randomly, alphabetically by first name, last name, alphabetically by last name, or alphabetically by ID number. In some instances, you will realize that for our students' names, they include the admission number. Maybe the admission number is the last name. So by so doing, it will automatically assign students of the same admission number into groups. So which means if you have a course which have students who are taking up the course from various faculties of various schools, then you can easily be able to, if the admission number reflects in the name of the student, whether it be the first name or the last name, you can actually validate that with the technical team. You can then use that as a basis to auto create groups, and it will automatically assign students with the same admission numbers into groups. Once you've done that, you can preview and check how the groupings are going to be done by the system, or how the groups are going to be created by the system. So it has created for me 7 groups and it has assigned 5 members in each group. Group G has only 1 member. So once it has created the groups, I can as well delete this and assign this member to one of the groups. So once you're satisfied with the way the groups have been created, you can submit. So these are the groups that have been created, and it has assigned members to each group. Because the last group has only one member, I might as well add this member to one of the groups. So let me move Stephen to group F. So let me select group F, click add remove users, then identify Stephen, add Stephen to that group. So I've added Stephen to group 6. This group, so it has 6 members. I can go back to the groups, and now I can delete this group because it is you can't have a group with only one member. So I select it, then select delete selected group. So there's another way that you can get users to add themselves to a group using the group choice activity. So let's go back to our course. Make sure that you turn editing on. Once you've turned editing on, scroll to the section or the topic of your course where you will be having a group activity. Then select add an activity or resource so that you can add the group choice activity, which will allow students to add themselves to an existing group. So proceed to the section where you'd want to add the group choice activity. So it's an activity that allows students to select a group and join the group. So it gives the students the freedom to make a decision on which group to join. So select the group choice, this particular activity. Then you can give it a name. So it's week 3. So it's my week 1 group choice activity. So it's within the settings, there's some settings that you can actually be able to allow to work to set so that it behaves in a given way. So the first one is you can allow students to update their group choice. So someone can make a decision to switch from one group to another. Then you can enable a maximum number of members per group. For example, I want my group to have a maximum of 10 members. Then you can apply it to all groups. Then you can select, my course has several groups, so maybe I just want the group work to be done to the students to actually add themselves to group 1 to 5, because those are the ones that are specific to this particular activity. I can select the groups within the groups which I can allow the students to actually enroll themselves. Then you can save and display, or save and return to course. So the students will be presented with the groups, and the student can actually be able to select a group and add themselves. So there'll be a button here where they can save their choice. So they select a group and save their choice, and they'll be able to add themselves to a group. Once a group reaches the maximum capacity, a student cannot be able to add themselves to that group.